Welcome to the Dermastore Podcast.
A chat about all things skincare, skin health.
And if you're a real skin nerd, we hope you'll join the conversation. Welcome to the 15th episode of the Dermastore Podcast. Hey Lara, how are you going?
Today's been great. It's been a very busy start to the morning. We have Dermastore's hustling and bustling.
There's a lot of people running around this
Goodness
place.
Me, it's been great. It's good energy.
Yeah.
And it tops off the week. It's been a very busy week. We're quite busy with a few brand campaigns and
a late night last night at an event.
Yeah, that was really great. To meet Dr. Maria Vitale was amazing.
Awesome. What did you use this morning?
In the theme of today, I used CeraVe cream to foam. I just felt like I needed a foaming cleanser, but something that was still going to nourish and repair my skin. I must say my skin is really dry now in winter. And then I used my gift that I got from the event last night. We got the Endocare Edafense Vitamin C serum.
Nice.
I just am obsessed with the texture of that vitamin C. And then, as I said, my skin's feeling quite dry, so I used the Lamel Cera Restore moisturizer. And to finish off, because that's really a nourishing moisturizer, I just wanted a bit of a lightweight sunscreen, so I used the Color Science Glow Brush.
You like Color Science.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's like me and Marty Derm. You're on
good.
Color Science.
Yes. Well, I need the makeup and coverage.
I suppose.
Yeah. And what was your routine this morning?
I used Glycolic Renewal Cleanser from SkinCeuticals. Great one. Actually, very interestingly, I'm using that and the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cleanser. Texture-wise, they're exactly the same, weirdly. It's like a glycerin kind
gel.
of... They look exactly the same, but obviously completely different formulations. I've been using that for the last week, and it's great. I must say, I've forgotten how good that cleanser was. And then I used Silymarin CF after that, antioxidant. And then I used pH Formula's new Post Plus Recovery Cream, which is a new release from pH Formula. We'll be launching it shortly. It's just a bump up on the previous one. Okay, well, winter has officially arrived, and as we know in winter, our skins start to change, and we notice that our skins start to get drier. Why is that? Well, simply because the air, specifically in more northern parts of South Africa, the air begins to dry out. And what happens is transepidermal water loss. And this is something, Dr. Webster, welcome to the studio again. I don't think a lot of people understand what the concept of transepidermal water loss is. Can you give us a brief explanation on what it is?
So basically, your top layer of your skin, your stratum corneum, there's a fatty layer there that keeps the water in your skin. And if you've got a genetic condition like ichthyosis vulgaris, or you've disrupted your epidermal barrier, then the water goes from inside the skin to outside the skin. But it's also dependent on environmental factors. So if the air is drier, then you're going to get more loss of water from your skin into your environment.
So would you say that during winter period you see a lot more eczema conditions come into your practice?
Definitely, especially in the Highveld, where obviously it's that lower temperature, the humidity drops considerably. Down near the coast where we are in the Somerset West, Stellenbosch area, it's less, but still you've also got heaters, fires, and that dries out the
Red
air.
wine.
So we recently attended a cosmeceutical boot camp in Cape Town, and there was a presentation that showed a growing body of evidence that suggests many dermatological conditions are associated with a disrupted skin barrier or decreased levels of ceramides in the skin. Do you agree with that? Is that something we're seeing more of?
Definitely. So I think we've always associated dry skin more with eczema, psoriasis, etc., and a disturbed barrier function. But now we know it's with virtually every skin condition, from acne to rosacea. Virtually every skin condition, we need to preserve that barrier function. That's very important.
And acne especially stood out because an acne patient is trying to limit the amount of greasiness or hydration. They don't want to put anything on their skin because they're so worried about clogging pores and that sort of thing. They are the ones that actually need the layers of hydration within their skin. And I think it just goes to that education of you're not putting oil onto your skin, you're restoring lipids. It's a completely different component within the skin, lipids and water into the skin, not oil.
Exactly. So I think especially people with acne-prone skin tend to want to sort of scrub away their acne. So they tend to use too harsh products And as a result of that sort of excess cleansing, or they cause an irritant contact dermatitis. And then they can't tolerate the active ingredients that they actually need.
The treatment products.
The treatment products. So I think that's a thing I see in my practice.
So by stripping the barrier, we're contributing, because acne is an inflammatory skin disease. And by having an impaired barrier, you're just exacerbating that condition.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then other skin conditions. So you mentioned eczema. What else would fall into
So definitely atopic eczema. Quite a few patients with atopic eczema suffer from what we call ichthyosis vulgaris, where it is a genetically dry skin. You've got a deficiency of filaggrin. So your skin is dry from birth. And as a result of that deficient epidermal barrier, you've got this dry skin. And then the dry skin can lead on to eczema.
And one of the other topics that was brought up, which we also just think aging, oh, well, because I turned 60, I'm aging. But actually, dry skin contributes to aging.
So that's a major part of my practice is skin cancer. I see it in my patients with sun-damaged skin. They've got a dry skin as well, because the skin has been damaged from many years of sun exposure.
So such a strong topic, eh, Greg?
There's a lot going on here. Well, I think the important thing is just to go back to the fundamentals of what the stratum corneum is predominantly made up of. So this is the barrier that keeps the good stuff in and the bad stuff out. We know it is made up of 50% ceramides. It's made up with 25% of cholesterol and between 20 and 10% of fatty acids. So that's like the optimum ratio when it comes to what the stratum corneum is made up of. There are very clever brands developing products that almost mimic what the cutaneous barrier is made up of. Brands like CeraVe. We've got a few other brands on Dermastore, like SkinCeuticals, who have creams specifically in this ratio. Brands like CeraVe are sort of ahead of the game in this, formulating with 3 different types of ceramides, 1, 3, and 6. So the MVE technology of CeraVe, I think this is one of the key things that really separates this brand, because you can have these wonderful ingredients, but if you can't deliver them into the skin, how's it going to work?
I was actually brainstorming with a therapist this morning on their feedback on how moisturizers feel in the skin, and then also what is the effect or efficacy for longer term, because sometimes moisturizers just have that immediate feeling of nourishment,
and then it goes away.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so with CeraVe, particularly the moisturizing lotion, it's a lightweight lotion, but it applies like velvet. So the MVE technology has 2 benefits to it. It has an instant release, so that immediate hydration within the skin, but then it also prolongs the release of the hydration and ceramides into the skin for up to 24 hours. So you're constantly keeping that barrier healthy and intact.
You can't expect people, we test products all the time. I often test moisturizers or cream, and your skin feels great post-application. But give it an hour, 2 hours, it's gone away. Your skin is back to being dry. And those are very superficial hydrators, and it's not practical to ask people to apply their moisturizer 7 times a day. In fact, there's one Japanese brand that I've tested, and that's exactly how they sell more products. It's not practical.
Yeah, exactly.
So CeraVe, for example, if you apply the moisturizer in the morning, by afternoon you can still feel your skin is protected, and that is the slow release MVE technology that is delivering those ingredients over an extended period. It's a very sophisticated mechanism.
And what I love so much about this particular range is that the ceramides, so we would typically find them in a moisturizer or a lotion, but it is even in their cleansers. You're always replenishing the skin barrier.
So thinking about a baseline routine, CeraVe started out as a solution for dry skin, repairing the skin barrier, reducing transepidermal water loss. So they started with their moisturizers, and then they moved into cleansers. And now, interestingly, they're sort of expanding into other skin conditions. As we previously mentioned, it all starts with a strong skin barrier. What is cool about CeraVe is that it's building these foundational blocks so that your skin can even go onto using better actives. If your skin barrier is intact, you can use higher percentages of vitamin C. The retinization process will be a lot smoother. You won't get that flakiness. Your overall skin health ability to treat certain skin concerns is going to improve. Some of the other channels they're sort of focusing in on now is the keratosis pilaris. So do you want to chat about some of the ingredients in SA Smoothing?
Yeah, so SA Smoothing Cream, it's got the ceramides, it's got urea, it's got salicylic acid. So keratosis pilaris is an extremely common condition. I think about 5 to 10% of the population suffer from it. Unfortunately, there's no cure. You often get this sort of red bumpiness on the upper arms. It can also occur on other parts of the body. But I think this is a great cream for that.
And I really like it. I actually do personally use it because it's super effective, but it's non-stripping.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how it works on the skin. And then they've got the SA Smoothing Cleanser with the SA Smoothing Cream in 2 different formats.
The combination works very well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Very, very cool.
So this SA Smoothing Cleanser has also got the ceramide, salicylic acid, hyaluronic acid, and also niacinamide. So you can use it for keratosis pilaris, but you could also use it for acne.
Yes, you have said to us that we can recommend it for acne patients. What are some of the highlight products for you, Greg?
I really like just the normal facial moisturizing lotion. I think for a guy that the SPF 25 is quite nice. I'd still use another sunscreen over that, but maybe in winter you could get away with the SPF 25. It's just an everyday lightweight lotion.
I think all the husbands of Dermastore use that as their moisturizer.
Okay. And then just the body lotion. I'm not huge into like rich creams. I like a pump, and the big size obviously goes a long way. So that's definitely in my bathroom, and I got to just remember to do it consistently, but then you see results long term. The other product that I really like personally out of the CeraVe range is the cream to foam cleanser. That's one of my favorites. It's a hybrid product, very gentle but extremely effective. And again, it's carrying that philosophy of protect the skin barrier, but at the end of the day we still need to clean our skin. So that's a hero product for me as well.
All of the products are something that we've always said talks to our termed slogan of skin sponding.
Yes.
Is these are staples in your routine.
Yeah.
And, luckily they are an affordable, tangible product that is accessible for us to include in our morning and evening routines as and when the skin needs this nourishment and hydration and barrier restoration. Like you used glycolic cleanser this morning because, you needed that renewal, sloughing off, fresh looking skin this morning. But that's not a cleanser you can use every single day.
Nope.
Okay, so cream to foam cleanser is then your slot in. I absolutely love the foaming cleanser, and I also like recommending it for young acne patients because they do want to strip their skin. I'm fooling them into thinking that they are stripping their skin because it's a really beautifully foaming cleanser, but I know it's not stripping because of the ceramide inclusion. So there's lots of products here that we can really comfortably and safely recommend to a lot of patients.
We recommend this range all the time on Dermastore. It's a safe, easy bet, an easy one to sell, an easy one to love. So just all in all, a fantastic brand that, again, it starts with working with dermatologists. CeraVe was founded by a guy who consulted very closely with dermatologists to bring this brand to market. And it's no wonder it's done so well.
And I think Dr. Webster have a lot of peace if all of his patients had intact barriers.
Exactly. Now, I think that is the key to trying to prevent adverse reactions. So often when we get a patient that has an adverse reaction, it's not usually the product they're using, it's the cleanser that they've been using. They're using the wrong cleanser. So they're starting off with an impaired barrier function, and then they put a retinol on top of it.
And it just goes south.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rosacea was such a big topic on Saturday at the Cosmeceutical Boot Camp, and the common denominator kept popping up. Avoid the aggressors, avoid the triggers. And most of those triggers were an impaired skin barrier.
Exactly.
So, we've got lots of skins to start repairing and rebuilding.
And I think another thing is if you've got a dry skin, you've often got to apply quite a large amount of moisturizing cream.
And large surface area.
Over large surface area. So that is the CeraVe. It's good value for your money, but it comes in a tub, which maybe has some few drawbacks, but there's a large volume of cream because you need a volume of cream that is affordable.
That you can be consistent with.
Yeah, exactly.
Patient compliance.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for today. Thank you so much to Dr. Webster and Lara for joining us once again. We hope this information helps you, but take care and we'll catch you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're keen to learn more about what we have to say. We would also really love your thoughts, ideas, and any questions you have for future episodes. You can email us on pod@dermastore.co.za.